Hi, everybody. Hi, this is Jessie over at Decker Truckline. Thanks for joining me this Tuesday. Just to get some of that housekeeping out of the way, let's first just remind you that if you have any questions during our live Q&A that, hey, Bob, right on it. If you have any questions during our Q&A, please leave it in the chat box and I will get to it as soon as possible. And of course, if you want to get a hold of one of the recruiters, then you can give them a call at 888-668-0698. And you can apply online at drivedecker.com. So like I said, if you have any questions, leave it in the chat box and I'll answer it. BTS Trucking, hey, how are you? Not sure who I'm talking to, but Bob, I gotcha. And let's see if I can type. And I'll put that telephone number in here too in case you want to call one of the recruiters. It's Anthony, I should have known. Did you change your name? You did. I notice it. You changed your name. New name. Ah, see? I knew it. Can't pass anything by me. All right, cool. So let's dive in. First off, we're going to talk about the Driver of the Year and Driver of the Month programs, which we hit on a little bit yesterday if you were part of our Facebook group. And pretty awesome. We've had some changes, which basically they're different. They're different, but we do have more opportunities for some of those who weren't able to take advantage of this, both the Driver of the Month and the Driver of the Year program. So we're going to kind of dive into that. But as a reminder, because the weather still is rank, I just want to remind everybody, talked about it last week, but our three P's, Bob, don't make fun of me for that. 3 P's, prepare, prevent, and be safe, you guys. So prepare, prevent, and protect yourself from everything. Remember, it's 70. You're in Miami. I'm very jealous. Very jealous. Not even fun. Not fun for me, at least. It is -7, I think is the last I saw. It feels way worse than that. But yeah, lots of snow today here in Montana. So prepare, protect, and prevent. Just a reminder, just to keep yourself safe. I know I hit on it last week, but make sure that you have all the right fluids for your truck, for yourself. Make sure that you've got plenty to eat in your truck, and blankets and kitty litter or whatever you need to, de-icer to get your truck unstuck if you need to. Know how to properly clear up your brakes. It better warm up before you get back. Yeah, you're hoping that it has finally begun here. We had some warm weather and now it's, you wish. you wish. So protect yourself, stay warm. And for those of you in nice weather, poo on you. All right, Driver of the Month program. So we've introduced more opportunity. So have a couple of divisions, we've added a couple of divisions. So now we have the Midwest Refrigerated, which we had before. We've got the Midwest Refrigerated. We've got the Midwest Flatbed, which is now in and of itself its own division. We have the Southern Flatbed. We call it Southern Flatbed, but it's actually our over-the-road division. Runs out of Bessemer, Alabama. So that's my third division. And then I have one out of a refrigerated division out of Missoula, Montana. That's our Western over-the-road refrigerated division. And we have our owner-operator lease purchase. So we've got that one. That's just one right there in and of itself, owner-operator and lease purchase. You're in the same boat. Our team division and our driver trainers. So we added driver trainers as well. So you guys are doing an awesome job for us. Please keep it up. We appreciate all that you do, both in all of our divisions. So keep it up, you guys. I'm headed for a warmer climate. Bob, 7 degrees. At least it's warmer than it is here. I don't know what the wind chill is, but yeah. So with those 7 divisions, every division has a little bit different criteria. Let me rephrase that. Not criteria. Criteria is going to be the same pretty much for the company drivers. Owner operators and trainers are going to be a little bit different. So fuel compliance, idle time, those are going to be different for the company drivers versus lease purchase, because lease purchase isn't going to have those factors. So your fuel compliance and your idle time aren't going to count for lease purchase. But preventable accidents, service failures, miles per week, your claims, damage, CSA score, those are all going to count for whether you're a company driver or an owner operator. So those are the criteria right there. Now, trainers, you have one more added to that for the criteria. You're going to have the training record and your evaluations. Those are going to be basically added into that criteria. So what we do is we'll choose a number of nominees for each division, and then from those nominees, each of the departments will have a chance to vote on the winner for the month. So every nominee is going to get a $50 Walmart gift card, and then they'll get a gift from the Decker store. So if you haven't checked out our store, you should. You can go to it through our website, drivedecker.com. And if you do the drop down arrow under company, I think you can access it. Let me see if I can get a hold of that for you. I'm pretty sure it's on drivedecker.com. It might be on our Decker company's website as well. So I'm going to just see if I can get a hold of that for you. Nope, I lied. It is, it's on our corporate website. So deckertruckline.com is where you can get a hold of our store, and then it's just right there. So let's just add that for you guys so you can actually see it. But reason I say get a hold of the Decker store is if you are a winner of, or a nominee of, there you go, of the driver of the month, then you'll get a gift from the Decker store. If you are a winner for the month, then you'll get a $50 credit to the Decker store. Whether you like your dispatcher or not, for the driver of the month, or just for where you're headed. So again, for the driver of the month, every division is going to be a little bit different on how many each division will have for nominees versus, and everybody's going to have one winner, but the number of nominees, high time, is going to be based off of how large that division is. And $100 Walmart gift card for the winners, as well as a $50 gift card to the Decker store, which I just put on there. Yes, Bob, you definitely have a favorite recruiter. You better have a favorite recruiter. All right, so here's the breakdown. Midwest Refrigerated, here at Decker right now, you're sitting at about 250 drivers. So that is going to be our largest division right now. You're going to have 3 nominees coming out of the Midwest Refrigerated division. So of those 3 nominees, there will be 1 chosen for the driver of the month. And again, the nominees will each get a $50 Walmart gift card and a gift from the Decker store. Steph will get that sent out to you. And then we'll have your winners will get a $100 gift card to Walmart and then a $50 credit to the Decker store. So you can only be a driver of the month 1 time within the 12-month period. So within a year's time, you can only be a calendar year's time. You can only be driver of the month 1 time. However, you can be nominated multiple times. So you can get that $50 gift card multiple times and several different gifts from the Decker store, but only actually win once. And do keep in mind that the winners of the driver of the month, they tend to, well, not even just the winners, but the nominees as well. Those are all based off of the scorecard. That's the origination. So you're going to be judged off of your scorecard. And we've talked a lot about that. And again, those criteria are going to be the exact same as the criteria for the scoring for the driver of the month. It's the company drivers, fuel compliance and idle time, CSA score, damages, claims, preventable accidents. Did I say service first? Miles per week. That's the other one. So miles per week are going to be the other one. So, and then as a company or as an owner operator, it's going to be preventable accidents, service failures, miles, claims, and CSA violations. So there goes your shot. For what? For the accidents or CSA violations? CSA violations, we are constantly improving. You know, safety is, if you're here at Decker, you know how how much safety is basically regulates everything for us. So how improving safety is just one of the top ways that we can be here. We can be our tagline, driven to be the best here at Decker. So improving safety, really that's the greatest way to just show that, yes, we are that indeed driven to be the best. So awesome. 3 years, Bob, 3 years, and then you're good to go. So you've got your scorecard. That is going to be the initial scoring of the driver of the month and driver of the year. And then those top individuals, those nominees, are going to be distributed among several different departments. You've got safety, and you've got operations, and you've got management, and I mean it's going all over the board. So everybody, your driver manager, everybody will be voting for the driver of the month based off of those. Before actually it even gets to those departments, we'll also get your smart drive requests. So your smart drive numbers and where you need improvement, where you're succeeding. Those are all going to factor in on the driver of the month, and then they'll be distributed to all the different departments for the voting. So all of that is, everybody's voted on those. The Western refrigerated, that one you're looking at 2 nominees and one winner for the driver of the month. So 2 nominees for the month and of course 1 winner. Midwest flatbed, you're looking at 1 driver of the month. So we don't have any additional nominees for that one. And it's again, all based off of the number of drivers we have within that division. So if it's less than 99 in that division, we'll have 1 nominee per month. If there's 100 to 200, we'll have 2 nominees a month. And then of course, 1 driver of the month chosen from that nominee. And if there's more than 200 in the division, then you'll have 3 nominees and then 1 chosen from that nominee or from those nominees. I will not be driving. Well, yeah, that's true. I hope you're doing better. I'm trying to stay up to date, Bob, on your health there. You got to take care of yourself. That's the important part, so so that's the difference between each division, and that's why some divisions have 2 or more, or 1 or 2 nominees versus not having any at all. The Midwest flatbed is sitting right at 95 drivers. So we've got 95 professional drivers in that division. Now, if we do add a few more, 6 more, then obviously at that point we'll be up to the 2 nominees and then one driver of the month chosen from that. Ooh, Anthony, forgot to set your parking brake. Yeah, that's important. Yeah, our CSA scores, they're constantly going up, and we love to see that. So that is a lot of hard work from all of our professional drivers out there, and kudos to you. It's fantastic. We love to see those just go up and up and up. So fantastic work, you guys. Awesome, awesome. And for some of you that might need a little bit more work on it. So for those that are right there on the borderline, this month, it might be, or you might be getting 1, just the driver of the month. Next week, or next month, excuse me, you might have 2 driver of the month, or 2 nominees for driver of the month for that division, but actually 1 winner. And that's because it just increases. Now we do have new trucks coming in. So that's obviously, we've got the availability and we've got the freight. So if we've got some professional drivers out there who are looking to come on in our Midwest flatbed, don't forget we've got the guaranteed pay in the Midwest flatbed and the weekly home time, as well as not every area has that, Mason City to Fort Dodge to Chicago to Milwaukee and back to Mason City. If you live along that route, then yeah, you can sign up for that guaranteed pay. So that's going to sit you pretty well for that Midwest flatbed. And if that grows, then the number of nominees is going to grow. Bob, that makes perfect sense. And like I said, and getting your health in order too. But somebody asked you, oh, yeah, that's probably true. I thought I was giving you a hard time, Anthony. Nope, make sure that you set your parking brakes. And if your brakes are stuck, so on the reverse, if your brakes are stuck, make sure that you check out our video here within our YouTube page on how to release frozen brakes. So do not rock the truck. Can't yell at you, laugh more enough for that. More enough? Enough about that. Oh, so the Midwest flatbed's right there on borderline. Southern flatbed, you're sitting at about 160, so we've got a good number of Southern flatbedders. We've got 2 nominees for that division and 1, of course, winner for the division. Our owner-operators and lease purchase, we've got 1 nominee, 1 winner, monthly winner for that. Teams, again, one winner for the driver of the month. Now, when it comes to the prizes for the teams, the driver of the month prizes, which is, again, the Walmart gift card and the $50 credit to the Decker store, each team driver will receive that. So you'll get $100 for each of you will get a $100 Walmart gift card, and each of you will get a $50 credit. Now, that being said, when it comes to the driver of the year programs, it is actually split between the teams. So that the team will split those winnings. The driver trainer, I'm just making fun of myself and bumbling over my words here. The driver trainers, now we've got about 32 driver trainers here within several of our divisions, whether they're refrigerated, over the road, refrigerated, Midwest, refrigerated, flatbed, van. We've got several different. And now the van drivers are our professional drivers that are in the van division. They're going to be under our Midwest refrigerated as well. So, so the driver trainers, we've got 1 winner for that per month. So 1 winner. You always plug your... Never when it's cold. Oh, because it'll get stuck. Bob says he never pulls his trailer brakes when it's cold. If you're wondering what I'm responding to here. All right, so again, you can only win Driver of the Month 1 time within a calendar year. And now when it comes to Driver of the Year, you can win Driver of the Year multiple times, multiple years in a row, but you can only win the Grand Champion prize you cannot win them in consecutive years. So you can with the Driver of the Year, but not with the Grand Champion. So what is the difference between the two? Well, the Grand Champion is the grand poobah of it all. I mean, you win over all of the divisions. You're the stud that gets the big bucks. And with the scoring is going to be very similar. You're based off your scorecard. It's for the year. You're going to be based off of, as well as your smart drive system and everything. So 7 divisions, $3,000 per division. And again, because it's $3,000 per division, that's what the winner receives. So that's the Driver of the Year for each division. And that means that the teams will get $1,500 a piece. So $3,000 per division. You'll get a Driver of the Year jacket. You'll get the Driver of the Year decals, and you'll get the Driver of the Year plaque. So you'll win all of those as the Driver of the Year per division. Now the Grand Champion. This is what everybody's been waiting for. Not that those aren't awesome, but this is, So the Grand Champion of all of this will still receive the exclusive decal saying the Grand Champion for the 2019 year. 2018, we will reflect back on that here in just a little bit, but for 2019, the Grand Champion will get not only the decal that is worth bragging rights in and of itself, but $15,000 in cash. $15,000. What? And that'll all be presented during our big ceremony, our Driver of the Year ceremony, usually in April. So last year's is still being calculated. Numbers are still being ran. Votes still being taken for the Driver of the Year. We just finished up Driver of the Month for December. That was announced as, that's right, Wyatt, thank you for putting that in there, $15,000. So the Drivers of the Month for December, where did I put that? Oh, we've got owner operators. Remember, this is this was broke up into different divisions. So our owner operators lease purchase, Sean he was with us on Facebook yesterday, but Sean Swallows, he was able to win the Driver of the Month for December 2018. Telly Montez and Glenn Bryce, Our flatbed division, which was combined last year, it was Brian Ramsberg, Alan Smith, and William Trotter. Our Western refrigerated, Jeremy Clark was the winner there. Thomas Mode and Richard Hyatt, those two were our nominees. And our Midwest refrigerated, Rodney Meek was the winner there. And Ryan Doss and Steve Alger were our nominees for the Midwest refrigerated. So we had 4 divisions last year. This year we have 7. So you have more opportunities to win based off the division. So some of those that didn't, or maybe they were combined because our flatbeds were combined last year. So now you have more opportunity to not only get nominated and to win the monthly, but also to win the great big one, our $15,000 for the Grand Champion Driver of the Year for 2019. So just as a reminder, the numbers are still being calculated for January. We should have that probably in the 3rd week of February. That's usually when those are released. So the 3rd week of February. And then come April, we will have our professional driver awards for the Driver of the Year and for 2018. So exciting. You guys have any questions on that? Anthony. Oh, that works, huh? So you warm up from your inverter to your engine block, 25-foot extension cord. That'll keep it. Yeah. So yeah, Bob, I heard that too. Leaving it pushed in will prevent it from freezing. Didn't know that for sure. But check it out. So awesome, awesome, awesome. That is our Professional Driver of the Month, Driver of the Year program. Let's talk about some of the available positions. Now, I brought up the Midwest flatbed because, like I said, we've got more opportunity there. We have a guaranteed pay, which is key right now this time of year, especially for flatbed. But the guaranteed pay is $13.50 a week. You're going to be getting home every week, usually on the weekends. And that could be either coming in on Friday night. It could be coming in Saturday morning, but you'll have Saturday, Sunday, basically at least a 34-hour restart at home. So that is the Midwest, the guaranteed pay for the Midwest flatbed. And again, $13.50 a week. The pay itself, if you did not meet the minimum requirements, and the minimum requirements being available for dispatch, having 100% on-time delivery, having all of your paperwork in, and no driver service failures. So having on-time delivery and everything. So that's the guaranteed pay. That is for the Midwest flatbed, Anthony, Midwest flatbed. And it is a very confined area. You guys are most likely going to be running a lot of short runs. And knowing you don't like short runs, right? Right. You know I'm right. So Anthony, I know that you like a lot of longer runs, but if you're in the Midwest and you want that home time, or maybe even need that home time on a weekly basis, these short runs, you can stack them up and still get that guaranteed pay of $13.50. Now, our goal is to get as many of those loads stacked up on top of each other as possible, so that you can take advantage and possibly exceed that $13.50. So our job is to make sure that you get even more miles so that you can exceed that $13.50 and make the cents per mile. So in the cents per mile, you're going to be making anywhere from 47 for experienced drivers, anywhere from 47 to 54 cents a mile for the flatbed. 10 cents of that's per diem. And so if the number of miles that you ran and the cents per mile end up being more than that $13.50, well, then you're going to get the better of the two. So you'll get the highest of the two amounts, which is fantastic. Yep, I know. Montana, we don't have that available yet. Not yet. You never know. But if you live anywhere from Mason City to Fort Dodge, Iowa, and to Chicago, Illinois, over to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, back to Mason City, Iowa, then you are within the lane in order to qualify for that Midwest guaranteed pay flatbed. Now, with the guaranteed paid refrigerated, little larger area for that, you can definitely get a hold of one of our recruiters to find out if you're in the area for it. Most of The Iowa area is great for it. Omaha. You can reach one of the recruiters at 888-668-0698. Wyatt told me he's ready for any phone calls that are coming in, and he'll be happy to answer any of the Midwest refrigerated details for you. And that is going to be a $1,250 guaranteed pay, so $1,250 for the refrigerated. And again, you'll probably be running a lot of shorter runs compared to the regular Midwest refrigerated, or even, of course, the over-the-road refrigerated, which in the over-the-road refrigerated out of Missoula, that one's averaging a little over 1,000 for an average length of haul. Whereas in the Midwest, the regional position, it's usually anywhere from 400 to 600 per length of haul. But with the Midwest guaranteed, it's a little bit more, even more confined. But again, our goal is to get you more miles and just leave that $1,250 in the dust and keep getting you more and more miles. Now, with the guaranteed pay, we do have on the Midwest refrigerated right now, we definitely have a lot of guys that are exceeding that $1,250. We want to keep seeing that, and we want to see more and more of you guys exceeding that. So that's good for us. That's great for you. And we want to continue to improve on that. Any questions on the guaranteed pay for both the Midwest refrigerated and Midwest flatbed? Yeah, definitely more confined area for both of those. Now, for both the Midwest refrigerated and Midwest flatbed, it is weekly home time for the guaranteed. And then for the majority of the Midwest flatbed, it's home weekly, even if it wasn't in the guaranteed pay, as well as the Midwest refrigerated. Now, there are areas on the outlying areas, I guess, with the Midwest refrigerated that are about two weeks out, so about 12 to 14 days instead of the weekly home time. So if you have any questions on what your home time is based off of where you live, that's when you want to get a hold of one of the recruiters. 888-668-0698. Anthony is in the lease purchase, does pretty darn well there. He says it gets about $3,800 a week. So if you're interested in lease purchase, we do require that you run as a company driver for 90 days first. We want to make sure that you're really acclimated with the company, knowing how how you manage your time, how we are dispatching you, based, how much time we're giving on a load, how well you plan your day, and making sure that freight is moving well for you. So we want to see you do really well. Where you're scoring on your scorecard is extremely important. As a company driver, your idle time, your fuel compliance are very, very important on your scorecard. And it becomes even more, thanks, Wyatt. It becomes even more important as you transition from the company to lease purchase. Those are your pennies that are going to be gone if you are having troubles with the fuel compliance, or your idle time is high. Those are all things that'll factor in. So you want to make sure that those are down, that you're doing well, your scoring is really good in those areas. Of course, preventable accidents, service failures, miles per week are really important. Claims, CSA violations, those are those are all really important. Not dollars and dollars, but usually it's usually per mile, it ends up being pennies per mile. And then it adds up pretty darn quick with the miles that you're getting. So then, yes, you're getting dollars. Thank you for giving me a hard time for that. Wyatt reminds me to let you know you can get a hold of one of the recruiters at 888-668-0698 for details on the lease purchase, as well as, from the transition as a company driver, whether you're talking over the road refrigerated or if you're talking flatbed, you can get details from them. Now, with the lease purchase, as a company driver, when you transition over, we do require that you have a $1,500 down payment. So that down payment needs to be obviously down before you can transition into the lease purchase. If when you start, you don't have that $1,500, that's fine. When you start as a company driver, if you don't have that $1,500, that's fine. What we can do is put money aside each week from your settlement and put that aside into an escrow until you build to that 15, and then you can set it down at that point. or put it down at that point. Just realized that my volume is up high, so hopefully you're not hearing all these notifications that are going on there. Okay, so what else can I tell you? With the lease purchase, the flat division is paying out 72% of the load. In the refrigerated division, it's $1 a mile plus the fuel surcharge, and that's going to be on all dispatch. So it's loaded and empty. The terms are usually a 4-year lease term, but it's going to depend really on the truck that you choose. So, and that of course is going to be based off of what's available. So if we have a brand new truck, then it's going to be a 4-year lease term. If it's a year old, then it's going to be a 3-year term, 2-year-old truck, 2-year term, etc. So we keep our trucks on an average age. They're an average age of about 18 months. So 3.5 years is about what we keep them at. And of course, if it's a team truck, it's probably going to be traded at a little earlier than if it was a solo driver, because they just put a lot more miles on those trucks. So those are our options. We do offer team in our over-the-road refrigerated division, and we also offer team lease purchase in that division. So definitely an option for you. Yes, indeed. So if any of this sounds good to you, you can apply directly online. You can go to drivedecker.com, but if you wanted to talk to one of the recruiters, you can do that too. And then they will just give you the additional details and possibly even help you by doing an online application or a phone application if that's easier for you. Whatever works for you guys. What else can I tell you about the lease purchase? We've kind of hit on that. Well, you can do a team lease. So with Anthony's asking about the team lease. It's in the over-the-road refrigerated division. You do want to have an LLC, I think it is, I think that's what you need. You need to be incorporated in order to do a team, because you both need to be on the lease agreement. And if you're not, then you have to get workman's comp, and workman's comp is extremely expensive. That's part of the reason why they don't do a lot of training, or why we don't offer training in the lease purchase, is because then you'd be required to do the work comp, and it's expensive. So team lease, I have one. You have work comp? Is that what you're saying? But the team lease is basically it doubles in price for the weekly payment. So it's $675 a week as a solo, if you're leasing solo. In the flatbed division, it's $650 a week if you're leasing solo in the refrigerated division. Basically double that for the team lease purchase. I think it's about $1,100, $12. It is. Oh, I see what you're saying. LLC. Yes, you do have to have an LLC, but you still also have to have work comp in order to do the team. Or excuse me, if you're going to do the training, you can team with an LLC as long as both of you are on that LLC. Make sense? Crystal clear? I hope. Okay. Over the road refrigerated out of Missoula, Montana. So that's going to be our longest length of haul in that division. So if you are looking for the long haul, which you always are if you're looking at Decker, but if you're looking for the long haul, then you can get a hold of, Wyatt's right over there. So if you live in the Missoula area, stop in and he'll be ready to visit with you a little bit about the over-the-road refrigerated division. Also in the Missoula area, living in Missoula, we have 5 positions. Last I saw, we had about 5 positions available in home weekly. So you'd be home weekly if you live in the Missoula area. And you can get a hold of us at 888-668-0698. Most likely you'd be running a shorter distance, more of a confined area, more regional than you would in our true over-the-road division if you're going to get on a weekly home time out of Missoula. We offer it in Missoula, Montana. We offer it in Kennewick, Washington, Seattle, Washington, and Los Angeles, California. So a little bit different. If you're in the Montana area, you'll see a lot of Idaho, Wyoming, probably Utah, possibly into Denver and the Dakotas. And it's, I'm giving you the majority of where those runs are. Washington, of course. I'm giving you the majority of where those runs will go for that weekly home time for the refrigerated division based out of Missoula. However, that doesn't mean that you won't go into the Midwest or you wouldn't go further out. It's just that's where most of the loads would be. If you live in Los Angeles, California, I-5 corridor, you'd see a lot of that. Any of the neighboring states, you'd see a lot of, even into Arizona, I mean, Nevada, Utah, Oregon, definitely, and Washington. So those would all be areas of that Los Angeles home weekly. Kennewick and Seattle, Washington, same deal. You could be running some of that I-5 as well as all of the surrounding states and possibly into the Midwest. So that's weekly home time. Whether you're going to get home on Friday night or Saturday morning, that would be adjusted. You know, that would be based off of the week, off of the load. Maybe you had to swap the load. Odds are you'll have to swap the load if you're coming into Missoula with one of our professional drivers that are headed out maybe to the Midwest or back towards Washington. You might have to swap it just because of making sure that we can get you home and continue to get them miles. Anthony says, heck, run the lower 48s like a box. Well, there you go. So good point. With the refrigerated division based out of Missoula, if you're running for 2+ weeks out, because I mean, we can get you home about every 14 to 17 days, but if you want to stay out longer, that's totally fine. Actually, I think, Anthony, I think you stay out longer than this, but usually the 3 to 4 week, the 3-week period is kind of a sweet spot for miles and decent home time. So it's up to you, but 12 to 14 days we can do, and just give us a little bit of wiggle room, and we work really well with you on home time. That's one thing that they're very, very aware of, and they want to continue to take care of you because we know you guys make the sacrifices to be out there on the road for us all the time, and you do a wonderful job. You do an awesome job. We just want to make sure. Yeah, see, Anthony stays out. He's a lease operator, stays out about 6 to 8 weeks, and it works for him. He does very well with it, but I mean, I'm not blind to the fact that not everybody can do that. And it's hard for a lot of people to stay out, you know, even up to 2 weeks. So make sure that it's something that's for you. So, but the over the road, the coast to coast, you get great miles. You've got a length of haul that's, like I said, over 1,000, which is really nice for people who just kind of want to do their thing. You know, driving on their own time, they manage their time well. They do an excellent job, and that's a great division for it. Now, the over-the-road flatbed based out of Bessemer, Alabama, another one that we've really been increasing the length of haul. We now go into California. We actually even hire out of California and Oregon and Washington for that division. So if you live in any of those 3 states and you want flatbed, we have that option for you now. So get a hold of one of the recruiters. The way I can help you with that as well as any of the other recruiters here. 888-668-0698, and they'll give you some details. And for the Midwest, or excuse me, not the Midwest, but for the flatbed out of Bessemer, Alabama, we consider it our southern flatbed, but it's our over the road. You can hire out of those 3 states in the West, but we also have weekly home time if you live in Georgia or Alabama. So another opportunity for more home time, where in the past we've been able to do every 2 weeks. We now can do a weekly home time and still get you some miles, still getting you great miles, actually increase some miles from what we were able to do in the 2 weeks because our freight has increased significantly. Our customer service and driver managers are working really well together to make sure that we can get that freight to you and more of it. So doing a fantastic job of that, and we'll continue to do so. Increase it every day. So those are basically your main options. If you're concerned about your hiring area, you don't know if you're within the limits for flatbed or refrigerated or van, we do have van out of the Atlanta area. Anderson, South Carolina, we've got it along I-80 from Lincoln, Nebraska to Gary, Indiana, pretty much everywhere, along I-80 right there. So that's our van. You're getting home on a weekly basis from Lincoln to Gary, Indiana, and you're getting home every 2 weeks if you're in the South Carolina hiring area or the Georgia hiring area for the van position. So again, if you want to know if you're in that area, just get a hold of one of the recruiters at 888-668-0698. We do have some local positions still available. They're actually, I'm going to rename that. They're local only because they get home daily. So they're home daily positions coming from Lamar's, Iowa, the Sioux City, Iowa area to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That's home daily. If you live on the Sioux Falls side, we can still work with that, but they're coming loaded out of Lamar's area and headed to Sioux Falls and then back. So those are shifts. Those we pay on shifts instead of per mile. So the daily shift is from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Pays $275 for the day shift, $300 for the night shift. And the way that works is it's 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 3 days off. And then it goes back to the 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 on, 3 off. And it'll continually go like that. So basically you have 1 week where you're running 4 loads a week or 4 shifts. So you're looking at 1,200 if you're a night shift, and then to 900 during the day shift or on the second week. So let's start over. So you have a 900 week, and then you have a 1,200 week for the night shift. If you're talking the day shift, you're looking at 825 and 1175, I believe. So for the night or for the day, my goodness, for the day shift. So it's 275 for the day and 300 for the night. 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, 3 off. There you go. I think it works out. So, so you're going to be getting the same amount really per settlement based off of the Saturday night cutoff. Pretty darn close, at least. Our cutoff is on Saturday night at 10 p.m. and all the paperwork you get in by then, you get paid the following Friday. The direct, or you get paid through direct deposit. We can look at some paying through the com checks or the com data card, but definitely the direct deposit is the way to go. So if you don't have the option, I get it, we can do the com data card, but again, direct deposit's really the best way to go. Am I missing anything? I do know we've got a dedicated out of Council Bluffs. This is more of a weekly dedicated position from Council Bluffs, Iowa or Omaha, Nebraska area into multiple areas of the Midwest. So Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, back into the Nebraska area, definitely Iowa. Those are all areas that you run, maybe even a little bit more for into Missouri and Indiana for the dedicated position that's going to originate from the Council Bluffs, Omaha area. Now that one, it's dedicated. It's the same customer that you'll be running for. And it is refrigerated. So it's going to pay anywhere based off your experience. It will pay. I mean, I guess if you're a student, it'll go down to 40, but it's anywhere from 43 to 50 cents a mile, 10 cents of that's per diem. And the way that it works is if you're an experienced driver, when you hire on 90 days after, you'll get a penny per mile raise. And then you'll continue to get a raise every year on your anniversary until you cap out. If you're a student driver, you'll start at, in this case, you'll start at 40 cents a mile and work your way up to 43 cents a mile by the end of the first year. So you'll actually have several increases after your training program or after your training time. You'll have several penny per mile increases to get you to that 43 cents a mile by the end of the first year. So, but that is the dedicated position, refrigerated position that's going to be running from Omaha or Council Bluffs area to multiple locations, and then usually back into the Nebraska area to get you another load. So there you are. That's a week out. So you'll be home weekly for that division. A lot of our other dedicateds have been filled. So as of right now, that's what we're looking at. I don't think I missed anything. We do have a local position out of Bessemer, Alabama. So this one, we most definitely require that you have flatbed experience, especially with coils. That's the key. So if you have coil experience and you live in the Bessemer, Alabama area, Birmingham area, let us know. 888-668-0698, and we can give you some details on that position, see if we can help you out. So we do require experience for that one, where we'll train for most of our positions. That one, we want the experience. It's very important. So, all right, you guys. Well, I see that I've got my clock is telling me I need to get going. And if you guys have any questions, you just let us know. We'll be happy to answer them. I thank you so much for being part of today's live Q&A, and we do appreciate your questions. So Bob and Anthony and Wyatt, thanks you guys for popping on. Todd, we appreciate you for popping on as well. If you have any other questions, get a hold of one of the recruiters. You can leave it in the chats. We can get back to you and answer them, even though at this point it won't be live, but we still appreciate you asking the questions, and then we can answer them for you. My number is 888-668-0698 if you want to contact us directly. drivedecker.com if you want to apply online. And that's it. You guys have a wonderful day. We will talk to you next Monday on our Facebook Live. That's at 4 p.m. Central. And then back here on Tuesday at noon Central Time. So awesome. You guys take care. Please be safe. Remember our 3 Ps: prepare, protect, and prevent. So please be careful out there in this extremely cold and snowy weather. Thanks, you guys.